My name is Paula Quintin. I'm the Vice Chair of the East Brunswick Human Relations Council, and today is co-chair for our Unity Walk with Taryn Weber, and we're sharing the duties here tonight. So thank you so much for showing up in such wonderful numbers for our Unity Walk. But before I get any further into the program, I'd like to welcome Erin Shakir, East Brunswick Human Relations Council Chair, to bring greetings to you. Please put your hands together for her.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Erin Shakir, and I am the chair of the East Brunswick Human Relations Council. I warmly welcome you to our 8th annual Unity Walk, and it's incredible how time has flown by, as it feels like just yesterday we started this tradition. The main purpose of our yearly Unity Walk is to bring our community together and showcase a public display of unity and solidarity. By walking together in the symbolic gesture of togetherness, we aim to promote understanding, cooperation, and unity among all community members. East Brunswick is an incredibly diverse township, and we firmly believe that the more we learn about our similarities, the stronger our unity becomes. Events like the Unity Walk plays a significant role in bridging divides, fostering stronger relationships, and creating a more inclusive and harmonious community. The phrase, united we stand, divided we fall, perfectly captures the essence of why unity is crucial in our community. When we stand united, we gain the strength, power, and courage to speak out against biases and injustices that may arise. Together, we can achieve far more than we could ever individually. Also, this event provides a wonderful opportunity for residents from different backgrounds, cultures, and perspectives to come together and celebrate their diversity. While doing so, we also acknowledge our shared values and goals, further strengthening the bonds within our community. Thank you for joining us tonight, and let's embrace this Unity Walk as a testament to the power of unity in creating positive changes in our community. Thank you.
What a warm, wonderful message from our EBHRC chair. I'd like to acknowledge several elected officials who are in our midst today. Council President Kevin McAvoy, Council Vice President Dana Zembiki, and Councilman Denish Behal. Thank you so much. And of course, we have our speakers here, and acknowledging the presence, please, of Dr. Brad Cohen, our mayor, Dr. Victor Valesky, who is the superintendent of EB Schools, public schools, Reverend Crystal Pleasant, Vibrant Church, and she's also a member of the East Brunswick Interfaith Clergy Council. And I'd like to also just acknowledge our guest speaker, Tim Cummings, my colleague, East Brunswick Board of Ed member, and you're in for a treat later on. But first of all, we're going to have our East Brunswick Scouts lead us into the Pledge of Allegiance. VFW Post 133 was intended to be here, however, they're not, but our Scouts are going to very ably do the task for us, and they're EB Scouts Pack 132 and 501 and Troop 132.
The flag of the United States of America, the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much. It's always a solemn thing to hear that be repeated, and of course it's an essential part of our gathering here today. And the largest crowd here by far, and you'll hear their melodious voices soon, they represent the Hammarskjöld Upper Elementary School Chorus. So the Hughes Unity Chorus will be doing the Star Spangled Banner, and they're led by Eileen Mann and Alex Dunbar. So you're in for a treat. Please put your hands together for this wonderful looking group of young people. How wonderful. Come on, let's put that energy. Let's encourage them. The Hammershell Upper Elementary School Unity Chorus. Beautiful, melodious voices serenading us today. Just to match the weather, don't you think? Everything is in perfect alignment. We're going to have a very important part of our Unity Walk, and that is the community pledge. And we're going to be asking our EBHRC members or student representatives. We have a representative from each of the high school grades who are a vital part of EBHRC, and we're delighted to ask them to repeat the community pledge for you. Please put your hands together for these young folks. Thank you.
We are now going to recite the community pledge. Please repeat after us. As part of this diverse, multicultural community, I pledge to promote respect and understanding among members, irrespective of their choices, religion, and culture.
I will embrace our similarities and differences through conversation and productive interchange.
I will demonstrate our commitment to preserve and promote unity in our community, so that current and future generations can thrive in peace, both here and around the world.
Please put your hands together for our student representatives, Andrew Perez, Vidi Gore, Tasneen Noor, and Rayan Shakir. And I think that they very ably and very capably demonstrated unity. They were in unison, they were taking turns, and they're cooperating, right? Which is the whole point of this. So thank you so much. One of our seniors, I'm going to put him on the spot, it's not part of the program, but our senior representative, please join me. I am in my mother and grandmother role right now. He is a senior, about to graduate, and is headed to Yale. And we are just delighted to put him on the spot, but we've been so happy that he's been a part of the council for the last 3 years. He has led programs for us, and he is just so super talented. And even more importantly, he recognizes that he has juniors and sophomores and freshmen behind him, and he is helping them to transition into leadership roles. So for that and for everything you've done for us, please accept our gratitude and our thanks. We can have our dignitaries sit. Somehow that's not in the script, so I didn't have them sit. Please forgive me. It's my pleasure to introduce to you someone whom you really don't need much introduction of. So I'm not going to do that because Dr. Cohen has been the mayor of East Brunswick for several years. He's been part of the Board of Ed community, and he's just been such a wonderful support to EBHRC. So on behalf of my colleagues on the council, we just want to thank you for giving us the opportunity to serve our community in this way. We're diverse. We come from all walks of life, different talents, but we work together. So on behalf of my colleagues, I'd like to say thank you for the opportunity. And it's our delight to welcome you here to greet us and to bring remarks on this occasion.
Thank you, Paula. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. It is an honor to be here this evening and to be here at the 8th annual walking of the Unity Walk, I think really just says something about our community. And each year it continues to grow. And but before I get started, I do want to thank wholeheartedly every single person on the Human Relations Council who put tireless amount of hours into running tons of programs that really highlight all of the different ethnic, religious, based groups that exist here in East Brunswick. And I think they deserve really a large round of applause. This is their doing. And before anybody forgets, I'd like to thank our Parks and Recreation Department, who every single year managed to do all the logistics to make sure that we can get the park set up for these type of programs. And it's this and many, many other programs. They are the backbone to everything that we do. So please give them your applause. They deserve it. Now, I know that we talk all the time about diversity. Diversity is something that we're extraordinarily proud of. In fact, most people who move to this town, while they constantly talk about the schools, and here we saw this evening an example of what our schools can produce, but the second most common reason now has become the diversity of the township. People like the fact that this township not only talks about diversity, diversity is almost becoming a overused word. What does it actually mean? Anybody could look up the percentage of any ethnic group that lives in town. What does that really tell you about the town and about the people that live there? The quote that I'd like to bring tonight comes from Henry Ford, the industrialist, the founder of the Ford Motor Company, who said that coming together is the beginning. Keeping together is progress. But working together, that's success. So just what you have on a page, that's just the beginning. What creates the diverse town, what creates the culture that we have here, what creates the energy that brings people out for events like this is when townships come together and welcome different communities together and engage with one another, when they participate in boards and commissions and the running of the township, when they are involved in all of the sports and athletic programs and the arts programs, when everybody works together as one, as a team, working together, that's the success, just like Henry Ford said. When we start to celebrate everybody's ethnic holidays, whether it's Ramadan or Lunar New Year or Holi or Diwali or Christmas or Hanukkah, when everybody comes out together and shares in those occasions and talks to one another and learns about one another, just like Iram said earlier, you find out that the differences start to melt away and that we're really far more alike than we are different from one another. That's the beauty of unity. That's the beauty of diversity. That's what makes it come alive. That's why people are moving here, not because of what they read on a page. So I really feel that that's what makes us unique, and that's what we all should be proud of. So thank you for being what East Brunswick is. We're a melting pot, and putting together a community that really is successful. I think that our better days are ahead of us, and I thank you and look forward for all of you being part of that. So thank you.
Thank you, Mayor, for your words. Next, we'd like to call up Dr. Victor Valeski.
Good evening, everyone. And I'm actually speaking on behalf of President Lax tonight and myself, so you get two speakers for the price of one. Unity is crucial for fostering a collaborative and supportive school community. When schools and the greater community work together, they can create a more inclusive and collaborative environment that benefits everyone. So let me share from a school perspective. Unity ensures that educational policies and initiatives are well supported, leading to improved academic performance and overall student success. And you already saw, as Mayor said, an example of that right behind me. Unified efforts promote greater involvement with parents, local businesses, and other stakeholders. Unity fosters a sense of belonging and mutual support among students, families, and residents. It builds trusting relationships, and it builds a resilient and harmonious community. And collaboration between schools and the community enriches cultural and extracurricular activities, offering students diverse experiences that enhance their education and their personal growth. So on behalf of President Lax, the entire East Brunswick Board of Education, East Brunswick Public Schools remains committed to promoting unity throughout the year and modeling unity through our actions. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Victor Valesky. Next, I would like to call up Reverend Crystal Pleasant of Pleasant Church, who's also a member of the East Brunswick Interfaith Clergy.
Good evening. That's the vibrant church. Our church isn't named after our last name. Pleasant is our last name. But good evening, everyone. I'm here on behalf of the East Brunswick Clergy Council, and it's an honor to share this very special night with you and our Human Relations Council at our very special Unity Walk, and this happens to be the 8th one. We've lived here for 25 years, and I can honestly say that our city very much so embraces diversity. I want to share, as one of the community faith leaders, that I respect that while the Bible is considered the Word of God in my particular Christian tradition, other religions and faith groups have their own sources of holy, sacred writings and teachings and words to live by. I'm here to emphasize what some of our similarities are, as I too am a member, as I stated before, of the Clergy Council. I want to draw your attention to, and your hearing, Psalms 24, and it's the very first verse. It's a Psalm of David, and it reads, "The earth is the Lord's, and everything in it, the world and all who live in it." This particular verse caught my attention because it shows God as the owner of the entire earth and all of its people. That's very exciting because it includes every single human being. What's so special about ownership? Well, the owner is always concerned that proper care and handling of their valuables are in place, and that no one is mishandled, mistreated, and cared for. And so as the owner of the entire earth and world, we find very interesting instructions in our particular source of sacred teachings, which is the Bible. They include nature. For instance, the heavens declare the glory of God. It includes how to treat others, like do unto others as you would have them do unto you. It includes things about families, like children obey your parents, right? Or husbands and wives mutually respect each other. It includes teachings on generosity. For instance, if someone is hungry, feed them. And so many others. And so as one who believes that my role is to restore hope and faith, I want to leave before you one simple challenge to let's value what God values. The earth is the Lord's, everything in it, the world and all its people. Let's choose to keep the peace, preserve beauty, work well with others to make this earth that we live on a better place. I want to leave with you one more verse. How good and pleasant, no pun intended, it is when God's people, who are the people? Those connected by blood, those connected by faith, and those who are members of humanity. Psalms 133:1. How good and pleasant it is when God's people live together in unity. Let's value what God values. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the words of inspiration. Our next speaker has over 20 years of experience in the social impact sector. After college, he spent several years providing direct care to marginalized individuals and communities in Haiti, Peru, and inner city Philadelphia. His professional career includes multiple leadership roles working for an affordable and supportive housing provider in New York City, a mental and behavioral health provider in New Jersey, and currently an agency focused on the advancement of African affairs. His outside work commitments include serving on multiple boards and committees, including the East Brunswick Board of Education and our own town East Brunswick Human Relations Council. Him and his wife, Christy, are the proud and very busy parents of 3 energetic children. We are so delighted to have Tim as our council colleague. He brings a thoughtful and collaborative spirit to every situation, and we're equally delighted that he accepted our invitation to serve as our Unity Walk speaker. Please put your hands together for Tim Cummings.
Thank you. Thank you. And before I begin, I got to give Paula and Taryn another shout out. This is a lot of work. I was on all the emails, watching everything from afar. You guys did an amazing job, so thank you. Yeah. And to the whole Human Relations Council, it's a great group of people to be a part of, and I'm very grateful. So, Taryn, thank you for that awesome introduction. It's really wonderful to be here with everybody this evening, with my wonderful colleagues up here who shared just wonderful words about our community and who we are and what it means to us to engage with one another in this space. So, as Taryn mentioned, I am the first and foremost proud father of 3 children who are here with us. We have Quinn, Nolan, and Connor, who's hiding somewhere maybe, and my wonderful wife, Christy. We have children at Warnsdorfer, Churchill, and Hammersholt. And I have been coming to East Brunswick, although I'm originally from Ohio. I've been coming to East Brunswick since 2000 when my wife and I first started dating. She's a native of the town, so I hope that you'll continue to accept me. What I wanted to talk about real quickly is just a little bit about, my own journey and largely what it is that I've experienced, what I've seen or witnessed, and what I've learned from that. And so I'm going to pinpoint just some key points in my life when I had the privilege of serving other people and being taught by them what it means to engage mindfully and sustainably and compassionately with one another. In Philadelphia, I worked for a couple years at a soup kitchen in Kensington, Philadelphia, for those of you who are familiar with it. This is shortly after I finished my undergrad degree. And we lived in community right outside the soup kitchen. It was a really profound and difficult place to be. But while there's so many stories that I remember there, I wanted to share a quick one. We were closing up the yard one day, and a group of individuals, all homeless, all dealing with their own issues, were huddled together, and I went up to them and said, "Hey guys, it's time to go, right? We need to lock the yard." And they said, wait, we just need a couple more minutes. What turns out was that one of their colleagues, a dear friend of theirs, was sick and living in an abandoned building, and they were working out a routine to get that person meals and who would rotate in terms of the responsibility so that food could be brought to them. The flag is blowing, I like it, on a regular basis. To me, it was a sign of the love and the attention that people will give to one another in times of need. My wife and I, we had the privilege of living in Peru for a short period of time, working at an orphanage and serving at a school. There was a school in particular that was situated on the mountaintop, a little bit of a hike up due to flooding. It was an area that was susceptible to floods. And every day we would walk up with these young kids holding our hands and teachers who committed to being together, engaging with one another in this space so that they could learn and help one another grow and thrive. And another sign of what it means to be in community with one another. In Haiti, the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, I had the opportunity to serve street youth, which was probably the most profound and intense experience of my life, as you can imagine. These are young kids, largely boys, anywhere from the ages of 6 to 14, homeless and alone. One of the things that I engaged in while I was there was working with a community of people to go and treat individuals who were near the end of their life cycle. So these could have been anyone from adults to children who were failing medically and had nowhere to go. We would go in and we would wash bodies, we would care for individuals, and we would serve one another in a really profound manner that was very informative and difficult at the same time. But together, every day, we showed up together to provide that service to one another. When I moved back to New York City, I worked for a supportive housing provider. I'm almost finished, I promise. And one of my greatest responsibilities there was running a building for formerly homeless, mentally ill seniors. You all remember Hurricane Sandy, I would assume? Everybody probably doesn't want to remember that, but you can. So when Hurricane Sandy hit, we were on 22nd Street down in the Chelsea area. We identified the top most frail individuals in our building because we had no power and we didn't know how long it would last. And we moved them to another building on the Upper West Side where they knew that at least they could have water, electricity, and other things that elderly individuals need. So I remember one morning shortly into that experience, I got a phone call from the manager up on 74th Street saying, "Tim, we don't know where George is. George has left." George was an 84-year-old frail man with diagnosed schizophrenia, and he had disappeared from the building. We went hunting, looking for this guy to try to make sure that he was safe, could not find him. 10 hours later, he showed up back at our building because he wanted to come home. He wanted to be with the people that he cared about and that loved him. Again, the power of community. I most recently worked for an organization in Somerset that provided services for mentally ill women battling mental illness and substance use. And I recall one day a staff member called me and said, "We have an emergency." I said, "What's going on?" They said, "Heather just came to us and said that it's her 5-year-old daughter's birthday tomorrow and she has nothing." She was early in her stages of recovery, very low income. And so what do? You scramble to find ways to support her. We got toys, cake mix, everything that we needed. Heather was too embarrassed by her own financial situation, but she deserved and needed help. Again, the power of community. Here in East Brunswick, engaging with various groups and committees that I get to be a part of, being part of something so special like this, where we have this beautiful, diverse group of people who come together and accomplish amazing things. I get to witness people day in and day out giving back in some way or another, whether it be just through a friendly hello or taking care of one another. There are plenty of opportunities to do that. Here, day in and day out, we witness the power of community. And finally, as a member of the Board of Education, I get the privilege of witnessing the amazing groups and people that come into not just our building when we have our board meetings, but day in and day out that take place, the amazing activities and events in school. Teachers and administrators working tirelessly to take care of one another and, most importantly, the kids in this district, and an administration doing the same. I'm always so impressed and inspired by the innovative nature of the people who come in front of us and speak towards their passions and towards the things that they truly care about. What a joy to witness the power of community. So from these experiences, I have been a blessed man. I live a great life, and I'm continue to count my blessings. And there are things that I have learned as a result of all of this. I'm going to share them with you real quickly. This is not unsolicited advice. I don't like to give advice, but these are the things that I have learned through my experiences. Do the right thing, or as some would say, do good. I don't know if you all can see my shirt in the back there. There are always opportunities to give back. Something as mundane or simple as picking up trash on your walk is a way to give back. And so notice the opportunities and take advantage of them. They do make a difference. And Mayor Cohen, you in the Parks Department may be happy to know that I pick up routinely about 3 or 4 empty water bottles in Bicentennial Park on my dog walks every day. An opportunity to give back. While things may sometimes get cloudy, seek the good in everyone and every moment. I'm not purporting to be an expert of any of these things, by the way. I'm just sharing what I've experienced. Practice gratitude. Enjoy the opportunity to meet new people and engage. A quick story, we were leaving church last Sunday, and I had seen this man who was dressed in traditional African attire, and I commented on his shirt, and I said, wow, I really like that. We had a really quick connection, and he has since called me and texted me 3 times just to check in and see how I'm doing. This is a nice thing, right? There's nothing wrong with this. It's very powerful, and we all have something to share with one another. And then quoting from the words of a dear friend of mine who I met in Philadelphia, we learn who we are meant to be from the people that we are called to serve. So again, it's an honor and a privilege to be a part of this community, to serve all of these amazing people and engage, most importantly, with the vibrant life that exists here. And I just thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you.
Wow, I don't know if I could top that, but I'm inspired by you, and you obviously are emblematic of your sweatshirt. At this time, we're in the process of closing this out and going to commence our walk around the pond. But before we do, I would like to just once again thank some folks who are here with us today. I'm going to start with our elected officials, including Council President Kevin McAvoy, Council Vice President Dana Zimbicki, Council Member Dinesh Bahal, Mayor Brad Cohen, Victor Valesky, Dana's, sorry, I said that already. Okay. The VFW Post 133, the Boy Scouts Packs 132 and 301 and 132. The Department of Recreation, EBTV, the East Brunswick Arts Coalition, the East Brunswick Board of Education, the East Brunswick Interfaith Clergy Council, the East Brunswick Public Library, the East Brunswick Public Schools, the East Brunswick Youth Council, Citizens Bank, East Brunswick Regional Chamber of Commerce, the Lost Souls Public Memorial Project, the Moms Club of East Brunswick, and AJ Bales. Thank you all for coming. And now I'd like to ask the Boy Scouts to lead us on our walk. Thank you all.